Right?
Cheating hard.
Let's go look for a dance now.
What?
Rock and roll. Go rock and roll.
Away. Time will come. You believe.
Like a set.
We'll tell on you.
Oh, I see. Remember all the words to the song.
Down. Rain. Toss around and call my name. You'll walk the floor the way I do. You're cheating hard. We'll tell on you. Tell on you.
Okay. Oh yeah, fairly chop, have you? Thank you very much.
Dad was a real keen fisherman. As far as I can remember, he's always fished, and we've always been to Norfolk Broads on holidays, for fishing holidays. And myself, as a small child, I always used to have photos of me when I look back now when I was really small, side of the riverbank on the Norfolk Broads with a fishing rod. As now, my daughter, when she was small, we all went on holidays to the Norfolk Broads together, and there's photos of her also. Dad hardly went anywhere without his video camera, and you used to follow us all around. He was hardly ever on them, but he always took film of all of us. But he loved it. He loved his family and just taking videos of us all, and he wasn't really bothered about himself being on it, just all of us, and making sure we were all okay.
Happy birthday, dear Grandma. Happy birthday to you.
Dad met Mum when they were still at school, I think from about age 13 onwards. Married quite young, 19. Mum and Dad always did everything together, apart from Dad had his fishing, and he would do that often at weekends. But Mum sort of ran the house, if you like. Dad worked, always worked. Dad relied on her a lot, really, to do all that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, who's that?
Frosty.
Who brought you that? Oh.
Myself, I think.
Did you?
I usually have to buy myself things like that because nobody else buys them for me.
Oh well. Well, you know what you want, don't you?
Everybody else, well, certain people think they're a waste of money.
When Mum was ill, of course Dad was quite affected by that. Obviously always wanted to look after her.
This is about a third glass in 10 minutes.
Is it?
We won't be in a fit state to see the new year.
Cheers, everybody. Nearly the new year. All the best.
Then I think the worst thing that's ever happened in Dad's and my life ever. Mum passed away.
Sealed until they've shaken on it, and the money has changed hands.
Under headlines this evening, a 20-year-old man who died after being stabbed in Leicester has been formally identified.
Dad just was never the same. Was never the same again. I always said when I lost my mum, I also lost my dad, because he was never the same again. And over the last 4 years, I'd say, Dad's noticeably forgetting things. Just certain things you began to notice. To begin with, it was all quite hard for me to really take, because I would sort of not be very patient with him. Like, oh, for goodness sake, I've told you that once. But then you realise that this is more probably than just slight forgetfulness, which I think we all get from time to time. After consultations at the hospital, Dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Yes.
At times when you think, oh, he's just repeating himself all the time and tells you about just nothing really, and you think, why does he just keep telling me all about whatever's on his receipts of his shopping? So now, I look now and think, oh, I wish he would talk to me about the receipts he'd got in his pocket and the change he's got in his pocket, because he doesn't even do that now. He can't even do shopping by himself now. As a child, I always used to sing an old song called Downtown if ever we were on the bus or in the car and we were going anywhere. I used to sing Downtown. And Dad, even up to a year ago, if it ever came on the radio, he would always say, here's your song, Downtown. I was at Dad's house last week, the radio was on, and Downtown came on the radio. Hey, Dad, Downtown, remember? He just looked blankly at it, he couldn't remember. He said, what's that then? Which is quite, because he always used to be the one to say, hey, Lane, here's your song. And now he doesn't remember that. Always remembered the names of birds that were in the garden. Now I have to tell him the names of the birds in the garden.
Go and feed the birds.
We've got family in London. He can't remember any of them. But you didn't sort of realise how bad it would get. No doubt it's going to get a lot worse as well. There's not a cure, is there? And it's quite horrible to see your dad not be the same dad, and he's still your dad, but it's not the same dad anymore. I have to make sure I get round to see Dad most days. So it's time consuming all round really, but at the end of the day, it's your dad, you've got to look after him. He's looked after me all my young life. So now I have to try and do my best for him. Because that's what I like to do. I like to make sure everybody's okay. A lot like my mum. She was always last on the list for herself. I know it's a disease, but he wouldn't have gone downhill so quickly. He just was never the same once Mum went.